to the game.
All right, so we're joined by the bravest man in America. You know why? He took like 9 Boeings in 8 days,
I was taking a lot of Boeings.
We got the man himself in the house, Mr. Jimmy Dore.
A lot of Boeings. It was really an amazing tour. Honest, first of all, I can't believe that people who speak a different language want to come out and see the show. They got every joke, and the venues I played were beautiful. They were really beautiful, and the cities were just stunning. Copenhagen, Stockholm. I've been to Oslo before, but not this part of the city. It's the new part. It's on the water. It was beautiful. London, man, woof, that's a heavy. I don't want to live there.
Well, did you see my dispatches from London about the food?
I did. Of course I did. Yes, I did. Yeah. Yeah. Steph got sick on the food in London. She had a lobster roll and made her sick. And
Chinatown's good. The food's good in Chinatown.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what I couldn't get over is that a lot of restaurants close on Saturday and Sunday in London. Like the one in our fucking hotel.
Really?
Yeah, it's anyway, but the backyard comedy show was fantastic. Anyway, Berlin. So I didn't get enough time to see the cities. So we'd land, we'd take a nap, we'd go do the show, we'd have dinner, we get up the next morning, get on a plane, so except for Amsterdam, we were there for 2 days because we did Amsterdam and Rotterdam. And it was rainy the whole time, but I got up at like 6 a.m. and Steph and I walked around for a couple hours just to walk around the city. It was really nice. Yeah. Anyway, you realize what a shithole this country is turning into, and no one seems to care. And it's anyway, I saw Tucker Carlson do a segment about architecture.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel, did you see that?
No.
Or Jimmy Kimmel, he went to Japan. And he came back and he went off. He was like, everything's clean and you come back here and it's total shit. And, a lot of the conservatives rightly were saying, can you imagine if a conservative went on and said this about America? Everybody'd be attacking him. But he ain't wrong. I haven't been to Japan, but I know people who have. I'm sure he's right.
The weird thing is guys like Jimmy Kimmel are actually conservatives. They just vote Democrat.
Well, sure. Yeah,
that's the weird thing. He's left.
Coded.
He's coded.
He's coded.
Yeah, that's right. But anyway, I can't wait to go back to Copenhagen. That place, Stockholm. I mean, just crazy how nice it was. Berlin. I went to the bunker.
Oh yeah, you were saying.
Where Hitler killed himself.
Right. Have they kept it preserved with the original?
The whole thing, and it's kind of hard to take a picture. It's like, but apparently that bunker he had built, it was supposed to be for 3,000 people. He had it built with they made Russian prisoners and everybody built it, and at the end, there was I guess 12,000 people inside of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
That there were that many people.
Yeah. So, anyway, it's just a fascinating trip. I need to have more days off in between next time I do it. And, anyway, let's get to the stories because we go into the Clipper game tonight. And
all right, let's rock and roll. All right, so the first story is inspired by my experience on stage in the panel show at the Two Roads Theater.
Oh, really?
With Jimmy. We are doing our own live show.
Oh, fantastic. Look at this.
So anybody who wants to check it out, there's going to be June 9th. We're doing a 2 o'clock and a 7 o'clock. So dodissidents.com/day show for the 2, dodissidents.com/night show for the 7 o'clock. I'll be there. Keaton will be there, obviously. Wouldn't be much of a show otherwise. We got.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah. What was the alternative plan?
It would be me crying in my tea. Tusker will be there. Jose Vega will be on the panel. And we are working on lining up some musical guests, and we'll announce that as it comes. So, we're going to be doing some comedy, the kind of stuff we can only stream on Rumble, kind of stuff that would get us kicked off YouTube. So check it
I'm
out.
bummed out I can't make it. But hopefully I can.
Yeah, where are you going to be? You're in Minnesota?
I'm going to be in New York that Thursday, the Thursday
For
before
the
this,
fundraiser.
For the fundraiser.
We'll be there for
Jose.
that.
We'll be
Jose,
there.
yeah.
And then Friday I'm doing the Icarus Festival, which is in New Jersey somewhere. And then Saturday I'm in Minneapolis doing a show. So, and then Sunday we're going to fly back to LA. So
All right.
That's just how it's going to work.
All right. Well, the next one.
Next one.
As long as nobody tries to stab us at this one.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood. We need some security, man. We piss off too many people. Don't you worry about that, Jimmy, when you do these live shows?
No. But I did it last time. During the show, I was worried. especially when the MAGA and the Bolshevik guy were. I'm like, uh oh.
That's what I'm saying.
This could get hairy.
You don't worry. Somebody that you pissed off is going to show up. You can get like crazy people, man.
I've only had one time. I had in Chicago a couple years ago. I had some hecklers at a show like stand up and try to wreck the show, but just throw them out, and it's just like, okay, they're just Democrat people who like Democrats.
Right.
Those are the people.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, you saw what they did. They tried to go after Chappelle there, right?
Oh yeah. Oh you mean like that?
Yeah.
No, I haven't worried about that, but maybe I should. Who knows? Quit trying to scare me.
See, now I feel like I jinxed it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna shut up. You know what? I'm not only gonna shut up. I'm going to sacrifice a goat tonight to make sure nothing happens.
In fact, actually, you know what? Don't come to the live show.
You know what? Don't come.
You know what? You've soured me on the whole. Yeah, this is starting to sound like more trouble.
Listen, that girl from Kansas City, don't come. All right, don't come to the show. All right, so we hope to see you all there. Misha, to you for a moment before our top story.
Right. Mike E. Earlier today, Taibbi described the genocide in Gaza as, quote, too complicated to comment on. Something is weird about that. It was on the Sabby Sab show. Mike E. Christos, most Bernie fans became Trump fans after the burn. Does that make them all right-wing? Yes.
Oh, of course. Are you kidding me? As far as can I just say this? It's not. I can't vouch for the veracity of what Matt Taibbi said on Savvy Sab show. I didn't see it, but it's not complicated for me. Right before October 7th, I didn't really know much about it. I knew that Israel had the power and that the Palestinians didn't, but I didn't really know how Israel got founded. I didn't know about the Balfour Declaration. I didn't know about the Nakba. Right. I didn't know about there's so many things I didn't know. I didn't know that Netanyahu in Israel was funding Hamas. There's so many things I didn't know. But I do know all those things now. And so it's not, here it comes down to this.
I have said to people.
It comes down to this. Israel's an occupying force. And according to the UN, if you're being occupied, you have the right to fight back against those occupiers. And now it's turning out that most of those people who were killed on October 7th, or at least a big number of them, were killed by the Israeli army. And you look at all those cars that were burned out, that wasn't done by guys in hang gliders and fucking Adidas sweats, right? Those were done by Apache helicopters from the Israeli army. Or military, put it that way. So, it's not that complicated. They're an occupying force. They always have been. They've funded the most radical group they could find and tried to delegitimize the PLO so they could use this as a pretext to go in and do what they've always wanted to do, which is take over that land, and then they're doing it. And they know that Joe Biden and the United States government is not going to stand up to them because they use our own money against us in elections. And, the people elected at the federal level don't work for the people at all anyway. And that includes Bernie Sanders. He works for the machine.
Well, we did a whole story about that. What was that article? Was that in The Nation, Keaton, that showed, yes, there was election interference? It was Israel?
Oh, yes, in 2016. Yeah, Israel-Trump collusion, yeah.
Right. It was not like a lot of the things that look kind of fishy that Dems will tell you, oh, see, how do you explain that? If you trace it back, yeah, it is fishy because it was Israel.
That's right.
It wasn't Russia at all. It was actually Israel. But people are whistling a very different tune of late. This is Nancy
I have
Pelosi.
said to people when they ask me if this Capitol crumbles to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid. I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel. That's fundamental.
Wow, that is, and that isn't that. I mean, that is just so off the hook corrupt. That is so not. I mean, the fact that anybody who votes Democrat isn't outraged by that. That's the one thing you're committed to, not the healthcare of the American people, not the education of our children, not to the infrastructure of the. No, the one thing is to another country.
Right. There was a meme going around of and it's very well written because they totally captured the style of dialogue that Tony Soprano had, where he would go on these little digressions and rants. And he'd go, suppose you replace the I with Italian. There's no way we could get rid of that shit. A bunch of Italians in Congress sending billions of dollars to Italy. It's true.
No doubt about it.
Could you imagine any French? If we had a bunch of French people in Congress sending billions of dollars to France, would that fly?
No.
So this is Aaron dropped this clip. You probably remember where Nancy Pelosi claimed that the protesters early on were actually Russian agents.
They're in front of my house all the time. So I have a feeling for what feelings they have. But we have to think about what we're doing. And what we have to do is try to stop the suffering in Gaza. This is women and children, people who don't have a place to go. So let's address that. But for them to call for a ceasefire is Mr. Putin's message. Mr. Putin's message. Make no mistake, this is directly connected to what he would like to see. Same thing with Ukraine. It's about Putin's message. I think some of these protesters are spontaneous and organic and sincere. Some, I think, are connected to Russia. And I say that having looked at this for a long time now. As you know,
think some of these protests are Russian plants?
I think they're plants. I think some financing should be investigated. And I want to ask the FBI to investigate that.
All right. So Nancy thinks that the protesters should be investigated. Now, Medea Benjamin and Code Pink confronted her about that interview. Let's see how that went. This is, now watch closely as Nancy shoos them away in true Marie Antoinette fashion.
Don't call us Russian apologists or Chinese apologists. You are an Israel apologist. You are an Israel apologist.
Shoot.
Are you going to vote no on the money? Are you going to vote no on the money? Are you going to vote no?
$1 million.
Are you going to vote no on the money?
Congratulations on making money off of that.
We're not headquarters in China.
We're not from China.
We don't have headquarters in China. Our headquarters is right here in the United States, and we don't want you giving any more money to Israel.
Our bridges are crumbling. We have
San Francisco has so many problems. We need the money at home. Congresswoman, we need the money at home.
Shame on you.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Money. Well, people
What
are
is
being murdered in Gaza.
Don't call us Russian apologists or Chinese apologists. You are an Israel apologist. You are an Israel apologist. You're an Israel apologist. Stop supporting genocide. Shame on you.
$1 million in Nvidia stocks this week. She's making money off the genocide.
All right. So now you all know, including on this show, I've made the point that Pelosi should really be prosecuted for insider trading. Although, to be fair, Congress has rigged the laws so that they can't really be held accountable.
That's right.
Isn't that funny how that works? But hey, all of a sudden, there's a shift. The Democratic shift on Israel has spread to a surprising, powerful figure, and that's Nancy Pelosi. On Friday, 40 House Democrats sent a letter to President Biden urging him to reconsider your recent decision to authorize the transfer of a new arms package to Israel and to withhold this and any future offensive arms transfers until a full investigation of last week's World Central Kitchen attack is completed. Quote, in light of the recent strike against aid workers and the ever-worsening humanitarian crisis, we believe it is unjustifiable to approve these weapons transfers. Most of the Democratic signatories were predictable, members of the Squad, leaders of the Progressive Caucus, certain rank-and-file members who happened to be from Michigan. One signature, however, stood out among the others, the representative from California's 11th District, Putin puppet Nancy Pelosi. There hasn't been much daylight between the former speaker and Israel since the October 7th Hamas attack. She's reserved most of her scorn in the heated debate since for pro-Palestine protesters. In January, she suggested that calling for a ceasefire was Mr. Putin's message, although some protesters, she said, were spontaneous and organic. A statement from Pelosi's office explaining her decision to sign the letter offered a measured rationale. Speaker Pelosi is sympathetic to some of the thoughts in the letter, and she feels very strongly that there must be a comprehensive, independent investigation into the horrific killing of the World Central Kitchen heroes, a spokesperson told Slate. Quote, Speaker Pelosi knows President Biden's support for Israel and empathy with the innocent civilians in Gaza, and she respects his judgment in how to proceed. It gets better. It gets better. She's unlikely then, even with the signing of this letter, to personally block traffic on the Golden Gate Bridge anytime soon. But the crackerjack journalists at Slate, huh?
Oh.
They're on the story. Still, calling for a halt in arms transfers to Israel is a sharp change in tone and reflective of her position as the representative from San Francisco rather than the Democratic leader. It also reinforces the degree to which simmering Democratic frustration with Israel's conduct in its war against Hamas has reached a boil following the WCK attack.
Blood libel.
Biden, the State Department, and leading pro-Israel Democratic voices in Congress, for the first time in recent memory, have suggested that the U.S. put conditions on military aid to Israel going forward. As for Pelosi, her spokesman had no comment on any potential legislative package. Quote, we will have to see what Speaker Johnson actually brings to the floor.
Oh, Jesus.
But as you know, she is a strong supporter of assistance for Ukraine in its defense of democracy and is determined to make sure they have the resources they need to win.
Wouldn't it be nice if she was a strong supporter of assistance to the American people?
Yeah, well,
wouldn't that be amazing?
We don't want the peasants getting heirs.
Jesus fucking Christ! Why don't we should just call? Why don't we call Los Angeles Ukraine?
Yeah.
And
well, no, it didn't work for East Palestine.
Oh, you're right. Look, that's exactly right. Well, it's called Palestine.
Well, yeah, that's true.
It wasn't called East Israel.
East Israel. That's it. They need a name change.
That's it.
It's a branding problem. Now we're getting to the heart of this. Now, just to explain that, so Mike Johnson is rumored to be putting together a package that ties together Taiwan, Israel, and Ukraine aid in one super package.
This country needs to be overthrown, man. I swear to God. I'm not kidding. People are down for it, by the way, in Europe. Everywhere I went, I said, we need a real revolution. And they all stood up and cheered. Yep. Anyway, that's a Jimmy Dore show crowd anyway.
I found the people in England, even on that food, they managed to be much more politically aware. That is not easy working through those baked beans or whatever the hell that tomato shit is there on the plate. Since Nancy Pelosi has signed a congressional letter, this is from John Schwartz, demanding that the U.S. stop sending weapons to Israel, possibly for a long, long time, you have to ask the obvious question, how did Putin get to her?
Nice, Johnny.
So now from Breakthrough News, students...
I saw this. This is great.
Students at Arizona State University, I guess they were not impressed by her signing of the letter. They disrupted her for her complicity in Israel's genocide in Gaza. So let's take a look. Whoops.
This is great.
Nancy Pelosi, you are complicit in genocide. The blood of over 15,000 Palestinian babies is on your hands. How can you be a Democrat and say you hold democratic values while over 100,000 innocent Palestinian civilians have been massacred with bombs that you paid for? We will not be shamed into voting for you or Genocide Joe and your massacreist policy.
Okay, so now pay attention, because what she really gets upset about is the Genocide Joe part. Watch this.
Family back home in Palestine is being killed. Their blood is on your hands. And David Axelrod, shame on you and every one of the Democratic elites that want to shame us for voting for Genocide Joe. 80% of Democrats support a ceasefire.
Look how many empty seats are there, by the way.
He's the strongest advocate. She did not like that characterization of the president pictured here in his recent trip to the Middle East. They gave him some of the local ice cream there.
Oh, wow.
He was very pleased with that.
But did you notice how many empty seats were there?
It's always like that when these goons show up.
There's so many empty. I couldn't believe that's Nancy Pelosi in a small room, and she couldn't even fill it. And then David Axelrod is there. Who's paying for this? Is the university paying for that? Or is she going there for free? What the fuck? David Axelrod can't be doing that for free. Is he some kind of a visiting...
I'm not sure if you're a sitting politician. I mean, with Axelrod, he probably does get paid.
He's got to be getting paid. Yeah. Anyway, we'll have to have him call in next Wednesday and find
out. So you might be wondering, why all of a sudden did Pelosi change her mind? Because it affected someone she likes.
Oh.
It affected someone she knows. So here, this is from her webpage. Pelosi, DeLauro, and McGovern nominate Jose Andres' World Central Kitchen for Nobel Peace Prize. Now, I want to make it clear, this is not, and we're going to do a part B of this. I want to make it clear, this is not a slam on Jose Andres or his organization, even though he did come into this supporting Israel's actions. He's clearly done an about face on that now. It's not to smear them, but it is to point out it's not who you kill, it's who you kill knows that really animates action in Washington. As long as you kill people they don't know personally, it's an abstraction.
That's right.
Once it affects people they know personally, now all of a sudden it's amazing how quickly they're able to mobilize into action. You always hear about how inefficient they are. Well, they're very efficient when they actually give a shit about something.
Yeah, if only that guy who beat her husband up was a Jew, she'd have been for a ceasefire on day one. She'd have been right all along.
That was my fault, by the way.
That was your fault.
Yeah, that guy watches me and Glenn Beck. So
right. All right, so we are going to do a part B of this, but so we'll go to Misha for a couple super chats and set that up.
All right. This person claims to be Jimmy Dore, but I don't know. He's right here in the room. So,
is it what did I say? So why does the show love Putin?
Love Trump.
No, Trump. That's
Yes.
it. Yeah, that's me.
Is that you?
Yeah, I did that.
Okay. Well, then Jimmy, being rational is very right wing.
That's it. Being rational is very right wing. What else did I say?
Freedom of speech is very
right
wing.
wing.
Along with bodily autonomy.
Bodily autonomy is now right wing.
Anti-war.
Anti-war is being right wing. There's a lot of right wing shit now. That used to be left wing. Isn't it funny?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, this show loves Trump. Disappointing as it may be, RNC's power moves, like overturning Roe, are driven by popular support. Support for scary Dem issues are manufactured by the DNC. Big difference. And back to us.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you hate shitty coffee? I, for one, really hate shitty coffee, which is why I'm excited to introduce to you a company that's revolting against shitty coffee, and it's called the 1775 Coffee Company. Now, I haven't had it yet because I only drink decaf. Steph has had it. Steph, how do you like it?
I really like it. You know what? I have a French press, and so I've been using my French press and totally enjoying it. It's delicious. It's smooth.
So 1775, the world awakened to a new era. And now it's 1775 Coffee Company is bringing you a coffee that embodies that revolutionary spirit. Crafted with passion and precision, our beans are ethically and exclusively sourced from the finest coffee beans farms of Bolivia. Didn't know that. 1775 Coffee Company's farm-to-cup journey ensures the highest quality of authenticity and sustainability from start to finish. With each sip, your palate will recognize and appreciate the dedication and passion that goes into crafting this single-sourced brew. 1775 Coffee Company takes pride in offering customers a truly exceptional coffee experience with their premium coffee collection. But their dedication to this revolution extends beyond the realm of taste. Safeguarding freedom of speech is critical right now, which is why 1775 Coffee Company has joined forces with Rumble in defense of one of our most fundamental rights, freedom of speech. Coffee that's sure to awaken all your senses, including the sense of freedom. So choose 1775 Coffee by going to 1775coffee.com/litter. That's LITTER, and use the code LITTER for 10% off the checkout on your first order. 1775 Coffee, brewed to perfection, crafted with revolution.
Isn't it swell? The memes make themselves. They found a rabbi hole, tunnels and all. There's Jews in the walls. Isn't it bliss? The rabbinical grace, soiling the mattresses. Well, let me tell you. Shut it down. If I were Rabbi Shmuley and diddle-diddle-diddle-digga-digga-diddle-diddle-dum, all day long I'd diddle little bums. If I were a Shmuley man, I'd peddle all my dildos, dreidel dildos, selling dildos with my daughter and her mum. If I were a Jewish Shmuley man, I'd be digging with a dildo in my bum. I'd wear a grotesque nose and go grab some goyim right on the nipple with a pinch. A Shabbos lap dance brace for the youngest mensch.
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletter. Just visit